Well, hello. Welcome to our little shop. And like the song says, here I go again. So we had this guitar come in this weekend. And you see the case. We look inside, and this is what we find. Any red flags going off yet, guys? This guy was all excited because he had a Slash guitar. Got a really good deal on it too. It came without the case, so he actually bought the case separately. So let's take a look at what we've got happening here. Let's say, any red flags going off yet for you guys? Well, yeah, it's another fake. You notice the import bridge and metric posts. Check out the script on the switch ring. Let's get it out of here and let you get a look at it. So we'll move over here. Alright. At first glance, you'd almost pass until you start looking at details. Let's say we get up here, we've got our nice little Slash logo, the Gibson logo. Flip it over. We have a Made in USA and a Gibson serial number. We actually have a fairly decent mahogany body on this one. So this poor guy thought he was buying a Gibson. He thought he got himself a really good deal. A local guy sold it to him. So it's in for some work. It was unplayable. He said when he bought it, the guy had the action down so low that it buzzed all over the place. Well, it's got some fret problems. So we're going to look into this a little bit more. But just want to give you a heads up look here before we get into this too much. Okay, giving you just a little bit closer look here. You can see the truss rod cover does not look right. We've got a really cheesy plastic nut. I've looked into this already. He's got a lot of fret problems. We're going to have to most likely reseat a lot of frets here. It's definitely going to need a fret dress. Some of these frets are actually hideously high. We'll see what we can do there. He's changed the pickups, so I need to actually look into that to see what we've got. And I know he's changed the pickups because I will show you what I found in the back. So there you go, another indication of the import wiring. See, we've got this plug connector here. And like I say, he's replaced the pickups. Look at this pro job down here. I hope you can actually see that. The soldering on this is absolutely horrible. And if you look way down in here, there's a great big blob of solder here. And yes, both look just about the same. At least he was consistent. So the owner and I have talked this over. He was very disappointed. I had to tell him, of course, it was a fake. But he's already got money in it. It's not like he can get it back. So he's trying to recoup his losses, so we're going to have to do some work on this guitar for him. I'm going to try to make this into a playable guitar. Like I say, it does have actually a fairly decent mahogany body on this one. I've seen some others that were really, really much cheaper. So we'll see what we can do with this. Like I say, he's going to have some frets reseated and fret dress, new nut, and he also wants to put new electronics in it. These pots are horrible to start with, plus they've just been mangled up so badly here. At the same time, I'll put him a decent output jack in it. So, let the good times roll. Well, we've begun a preliminary work here. We've taken a nut out. And by the way, any of you will notice that this nut is very wide. It's a 1/4 inch wide. Gibson uses a 3/16 inch wide nut. I've started marking out the really bad frets. This 3rd fret is horrible. You get up in here, we've got more. These are the extremely high ones. So I'm going to reseat these first and see how much it improves the situation. I'm probably going to have to glue most of these down. Something I really don't want to do or like to do, but sometimes you're forced to. And then do a fret dress on it. So let's see how this shakes out. Now, well, that's a lot better. We're waiting for our accelerator here to dry. It was decided after getting into this and reseating some of these frets, we decided just to go ahead and reseat all of them. And using a pipette like this, after waxing off the fingerboard on each side of the fret, I wicked super glue in along the sides of each fret. So when it's cured here, I will peel it off. Use a little chisel blade on an X-Acto knife here and peel all that off and clean that up. I really don't like to do that. The sound you hear in the back is actually my air conditioner running, because this super glue is nasty. I don't like to put it around frets anyway, so the next guy that has to refret the guitar is going to have to heat up the frets to get them out, and heated super glue is really nasty. I spent one entire summer in my old shop back in the 80s sick, because I'd gotten very handy at making jigs and fixtures and stuff with super glue because it was quick. So it was a daily constant thing. I was using super glue and it wasn't working out well for me. I would turn all kinds of shades of green and start hurling before I could get to the bathroom. So anyway, beside that point, this looks pretty bad at this point, but it will clean right up, I assure you. So I'll show you what we've got here in a few. Well, there we go. Fret work is all finished. That worked out pretty well. So now we're going to turn our attention to making a nut for this. I think I'm going to do a nylon nut just for the heck of it. It'll help with any of his tuning problems, and he does have a little bit more angle here on the headstock and the thick fingerboard and all that than a regular Gibson, so that may help him some. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. Well, we've made some progress today. Got the fret taken care of. I've roughed in a nylon nut. I'm going to glue it before I leave, and it can set up overnight. I've got just about 3.5 hours in this guitar so far. Still got a good ways to go, but it's winding down. I'm going to get out of here and call it a night. I did an ugly Gretsch job this morning and finished it up that I actually spent until almost 9 o'clock last night repairing the Bigsby. We talk about a bear trap, but anyway. So I want to call it a night, and we'll pick up on this again tomorrow. Well, we've put in about another hour. Maybe 45 minutes. I've got the nut completely roughed in now. Actually, the slots are all cut to proper height and angled and all that. We just have to do the final shaping of the nut. So I'm going to get the strings off of this, finish up the shaping of the nut, and go ahead and yank the electronics and get ready to change the pots in that. So we will carry on. Alright, so we've got it all back together here except for the electronics. I actually even have the guitar all adjusted up and have it set up pretty much. We're going to check that again once I get the electronics working. I was using one of my little tricks I have here to, as a pickup that I use on my neck jig to tune it and check the intonation with. But we're going to get this wired up and get this moving on. Well, we've had about another 45 minutes go by. I've got all the pots mounted, got the caps in, the guitar's all wired, I've checked it out, everything's going well here. So I'm going to put a cover back on this. I'm going to finish up my checking out here of all the setup and all that, make sure everything stayed as I did yesterday. And we'll get this finished up. And there we go. All finished up. Surprisingly, well, not surprisingly, I did a lot of fret work on it. It plays really well. All in all, it's probably about the same quality of a Epiphone, or I like to relate to like the Ibanez's or so on from like the late 70s. So basically what this guy has is two actual real Seymour Duncan slash pickups in an import guitar. So what we had to do, again to recap, is we glued down the frets and did a fret dress on it, made a nylon nut for it, went over everything, did the bridge height, intonation, tailpiece height, pickup heights, all that, replaced the controls and the output jack. He's ready to rock and roll. Actually, you know, it doesn't sound that bad. So just a couple little quick tips here for you guys. If you see these and it's questionable, check for the metric bridge studs here. Gibson never used anything like that. If you look at the cutaway shape here, the body really isn't quite cut right. It kind of looks like a ESP Les Paul or something. Yeah. Like I say, the script here on the toggle switch ring does not look right. Another giveaway is the thick fingerboard here. Okay, Gibson is not that thick. These are just quick little things for you to pick up. Truss rod cover, of course, is not shaped exactly right. Headstock is shaped wrong. This area here is actually too long, and it's really not shaped really well anyway. You know, the book up here isn't quite right, and the logo's wrong place. So don't be fooled by that, because that's fake too. And if you track it, it will go to a Gibson. May not be a Les Paul, but anyway, it's just a few tips there. Also, take notice here of these bushings in the front of the headstock. These scream import. They do not look anything like a Chipson. We've got fake Chipson tuners on this. Can't wait to see how long the buttons take to fall off. Anyway, we've got him taken care of. Hopefully this will appease him. And actually, like I say, it plays really well. It does sound good. It's not too bad. And for really what he's got in it, he's probably, well, before I had to work on it, he probably only had about $150 over what the pickups would have cost. He did buy a case, and he's had to pay me. So I'm going to call him up, let him know that it's finished. I'm sure he'll be thrilled. And I'm going to let him get it out of here this weekend. So until next time, play nice. I'll see you later.